Welcome back, Redeemers, Stays. Thank you for joining us again. My name is Curtis.
I'm Zach.
안녕, 로입니다.
Hold on, Kurt. Before you do that, I just want to do this one time.
Yep.
For all the stays, how have you guys been?
Yes.
What's popping?
Long time no see.
For sure.
Especially all the stays that stayed with us.
They always do. Stays are real ones. Thank you for joining us again, of course. We have Stray Kids, collaboration with Charlie Puth, Lose My Breath. So without further ado, let's see what we got. Nice little interesting collab for them.
Make sure y'all jump on the Patreon where we got a lot of exclusive stuff. More Stray Kids stuff that YouTube doesn't allow sometimes. Also, we got a lot of exclusive stuff on there, but you have to go in there to check it out. Can't tell you.
And we need some Stray Kids variety content recommendations from you guys. Whether it be
Just let me know. I got you.
So, that too.
I'll vouch for you.
Let's jump into this.
All right. Okay. Not the water choreo.
Hyunjin, right?
Hyunjin, man, Felix with the long hair, damn. They never disappoint with the choreo either. Ooh, vocals. Take us home.
Waffle House?
That is crazy.
Where were y'all?
South somewhere.
Yeah, or it has to be the East Coast or the South. Like,
Lino.
Giving like
I don't know. This might be a download. I'm on the fence because like it's so smooth and
Yeah.
location was given like South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
yeah.
Water. It's the only place I can think of down south
That I have a
water.
Waffle House
Yeah.
and that kind of water. You know, maybe Florida,
Florida, possibly
like Tampa or something.
South, yeah, like real southern Florida.
Mm-hmm.
This was really, really good. That chorus, it just hooks you in. Vocally, smoked it right.
Rightfully so.
Vocally, they smoked this. I like that little rap line. I don't want to call it a rap line, but it was kind of like a rap line when he just was like stepping in real quick and just
Hyunjin. I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
right here. This part, this is probably my favorite part. I just like the way he came onto the beat. Pause. That sound crazy.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, yeah. That was after Hyunjin's part, I think.
Shots was crazy. That underwater shot was fucking amazing. Where is it? Hurry up. Well, don't hurry up, because they smoked the dancing also. This shot was fire.
Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and download this. I'm gonna add this to the.
Choreograph was fire. I'm gonna be looking for the dance practice really soon. Definitely want to see that. Check that out. I like Kirko or Logo.
Yeah, honestly, I like this a lot. I wasn't quite sure going in, admittedly, because it's like usually when you gotta get collabs with groups that have 7+ members, 8+ members, or whatever, and then they collab with a Western artist. They don't really see it as like you're kind of 1/9 of like a whole equation as far as like when you add that Western artist, it's like a 50-50. So like Stray Kids would represent 50% and the other artists would represent 50%. So I was kind of worried a little bit about line distribution as far as like how that was going to kind of work. And I'm sure you could probably say like, oh, there were certain members who kind of didn't get as much, kind of on the track, at least vocally and everything.
I feel like
that.
I didn't see much Changbin.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I mean, I might be. I think he had one of the vocal runs at the end.
Yeah, no, I saw him.
Mind you, he is an incredible vocalist.
Yeah, that's
too,
why
like,
it wasn't that much of him though.
But I think that was and that's kind of where I'm leaning with it, especially knowing that there wasn't as much attention to the rap line. With it, I mean, in relation to Han
actual
and
rapping,
Changbin,
yeah,
Han and Changbin. You saw moments with Felix for sure, and with with Felix and with Hyunjin as far as like and those are kind of like those are the rappers that like. You know what I mean? Are not immediately like Han or Changbin as far as like, like they can rap really well and everyone kind of is all rounders in Stray Kids. But like just, it was interesting because I was worried, or not worried, but like I was curious how they were going to kind of approach that. So I think, but honestly, like when you look at the vocals and how they kind of blended everything and, Charlie's vocals as well, like I do think they blended, like it was a good sound, you know what I mean? And that's ultimately, I think what you can probably hope for probably the most with that, because sometimes things can feel a little jarring. Like you don't want to take the matchups of like this artist and this group or anything like that and just kind of shove them together for like the marketability of anything.
Exactly.
Like you want musically for things to make sense, and I think this musically, like the final product of everything, it sounded like cohesive. You know what I mean? So getting those synergies to kind of work together, especially if there's like language barriers and things like that. And I'm not saying that was like a case for here necessarily, but just in general, like when there's those added hurdles, like. I'm glad. I like this a lot more than I thought. I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to, I would say. Favorite part probably, honestly, as far as the rap side of it, was definitely Hyunjin. I really liked his cadence and just kind of how, like, mellow and laid back he kind of, like, attacked the track. Like, I thought that was, like, it just felt so, like, confident and everything like that as well. Felix was definitely crushing the looks as far as, like, the long hair and everything like that, too. And mind you, I hadn't, like, really seen much, like, newer Stray Kids content, so, like, this is, like, all new for me. They never disappoint on the choreo, like, so I thought they really snapped with that, and then like all the kind of water shots and the flowing whites, and if you have like jeans or anything like that, like that stuff is always gonna hit too. I think the production on this was really cool too. So like it's weird because it's like I feel like it did kind of hit on like all fronts for me, but it's one of the things I compliment Stray Kids on arguably the most is probably like they have so much music, they put out so much content. But they always find ways to make new and different and interesting sounds. You know what I mean? And that's something that I felt was really interesting as well, especially with Han being a little bit more scaled back and Changbin as far as like the rap side of things. And obviously Han like vocally as well, which is likely kind of where, Charlie's like kind of moments came in as far as like the vocal exercises and some of the hook structure and everything like that. But I think they really crushed this. It was a good sound. I'm curious about kind of some of the behind the scenes with like how the collab came about and everything like that. But I'm not too sure because I know Stray Kids is like self-produced and everything like that. They do everything in house. But I'm curious if this was more of produced by Charlie himself because it did feel like a little bit different.
From what I gather, like Charlie's just on the hook, on the chorus. He's like singing like background vocals or like that falsetto on the chorus and everything.
I like how it blended with Chan too.
And then I was gonna say like a lot of vocally a lot of this is similar. So if you told me one person was singing this song and I didn't know it was Stray Kids, I'd be like, oh okay, he just kind of did something with his voice for the rap parts and stuff like that. So I think
even like Felix's deep voice was used in a little bit more of a higher register.
Yeah, it was a lot more. It was thinner than usual. Yeah,
too.
He usually has a thicker, huskier type voice and everything like that.
He has actually like a really like his vocal lessons and everything like that, like his voice is like the range he has is like actually crazy. It's just when you have so many people who are capable of hitting that specific, range within the group. Oftentimes, unless it's like a solo or independent thing, it's kind of more emphasis on the deeper kind of baritone, if you will. But I really liked. I thought he was sneakily kind of in there a little bit too. Granted, I have to listen to him multiple times to kind of pick everything apart. But
no, definitely, yeah. And like I said, I think this is a cool vid. Like Max's songs, like I said, all the vids we've kind of reacted to tonight, everybody's been outside. They've been in like casual clothes for the most part. The usual K-pop stylings. I mean, obviously, when you shift from the non-street scenes, you see them like Felix has his hair like super dainty and shit like that. The little blonde little curls and flips. It's a good look. It's a good look. Yeah, and the other guys like is very like super stylish. Yeah. And flamboyant on that shot. Yeah. And then on the blue shots and everything like that, or the nighttime shots, it looks completely different. It looks a little bit more edgier and smoother and stuff like that. And funny enough, for them to have like this edgy reputation and kind of like, I think edgy is the perfect word. Edgy reputation. They do all of the musings and stylings of like a boy band. This is like one of their most boy bandish songs I heard, besides Case 143. Like those might be the two most boy bandish songs from Stray Kids that I could think of. This and Case 143. So it's pretty interesting to kind of see like every time they do something like this or step outside of the normal quote unquote Stray Kids box, where they go with it and what they do. But I think it's clear that they have their sights on being a pop group now, as opposed to like, K-pop. Obviously, they're still gonna have Korean lyrics and stuff, but the sound, if this is the sound and like where they're trying to go with things, and obviously the feature that they're trying to become a pop group and stuff. I think they won an MTV award, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
They won something, and they didn't have the #1 album over here, so it only makes sense that they would go for the pop group label. But I don't think that they'll like straight up abandon their edge either. But it'll be interesting to see how they bring that along with what they're doing, because anytime you go bigger and like your ambitions get there to become bigger, like as far as in a pop realm, you have to kind of tame certain things down. And sometimes that ends up being the most important things that make you, or those characteristics that people like you for. I don't think they'll like straight up lose anything, but I can definitely see they're aiming for pop ubiquity.
Yeah,
I can see that's what they're aiming for right now.
With the last album that they had released and everything, all the members were contributing kind of in aspects of like the production, the writing, and stuff like that on like their independent songs and everything like that. And that's something that was a very big change, because it was for one of the first times outside of just 3RACHA. Like a lot of the other members were getting involved and stuff like that, and that obviously expands like their sound ultimately. No pun intended. So it's like, when they're doing very good, like they have very good English speakers and everything, all their Japanese tracks, like I've personally liked and everything, and they'll even take title tracks and kind of convert them into Japanese, or convert them into English, or back from Japanese into Korean and everything. So like the aim has always felt like it's like you want like your message for whatever it is to be able to reach as many people as possible, cast as wide of a net. So I don't think that's wrong at all, like as far as that aspect. But I think they do a really great job of kind of like also staying true to a lot of what they are, while also expanding, musically. Because that's the thing, is like they have so many different sounds and variations, subunit songs, and just like all those things. So, yeah, I think they're gonna be fine. I don't think they're ever gonna lose any sight or edge or anything like that as far as like what makes them them. But even one of the first times they went to New York on like a variety thing in Times Square, they're looking at all the and this is like really early Stray Kids, but they were looking at the Times Square like billboards and everything, and they said they want to be up there and everything, like they want to make sure that they were up there, like setting that goal for themselves, and that's something that they achieved. You know what I mean? Like as far as, and it was like a full circle thing as far as like when they got to perform, I believe in New York, that like they actually saw themselves like on the in Times Square and everything like that. So just knowing that like the way they set their aspirations and how their goals are and everything like that, like I really do think they'll be fine in that regard. But I like that, like, because that's always like the double-edged sword kind of like with music, is like you want, like once you maintain some kind of audience, you want to stay true to like what people kind of are there for, but also you want to be able to expand as an artist musically, and be able to stretch like as far as you possibly can. So I think they do a really great job of balancing all that. But personally, as far as this track, even though it was a little bit more Charlie influence for sure, I would say, I think I feel like they made their presence felt on it at the same point too. I'm just sure like as with like any kind of collaboration, if you had any kind of gripes about it, it would mostly probably just be line distribution stuff. Maybe a little bit more absence of like the rap line as far.
I mean,
as
the song's not even 3 minutes, so I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only so
exactly.
much you can expect from it. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's like as far as line distribution and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, that's our spiel. What's up, Mike? Man?
Real quick, 2 things before I go. Song was produced in-house production by 3 Rancha. Charlie Puth and Johnny Goldstein produced.
Okay, so it was a collab on the production front too.
Charlie Puth probably had like 20 seconds on the song.
Yeah,
20 or 30 full seconds on the song.
that's what I'm
Like
saying.
you said,
It had to be the chorus.
Yeah.
Like that's all I could see that or heard that really sounds like Charlie.
Also, one last thing before I go. You photographers are weirdos. You guys know who I'm talking about. The ones at the Met Gala. Y'all niggas is
Oh
weirdos.
yeah, that was
That's
some
all I
weird
wanna
shit. I heard that they said something. What they say to
it
him?
was just like, oh, that's it. That's them. But you know how just like, when you see a K-pop group, they don't do all the extra posing and stuff. When it's a group, we just stand next to each other and take the picture. They was just like, oh,
I'm gonna be honest, I
That's
didn't
all
really
they do.
hear anything too
like
much
that's
about
it.
I didn't really hear too much about it or anything.
I
like
just heard that
but
somebody had
it's
said
just-
something towards
Yeah, there was a
them or
couple
something.
photographers that said something to them or was just
Fuck
saying
them.
something about them.
Yeah.
But people are weirdos. Once you don't understand stuff. of
No,
course
that's
you're gonna hate.
that's honestly some bullshit. So that's kind of what I mean is just like see people gotta put respect on Stray Kids. Like,
Well, Redeemers, send us some more Stray Kids.